Good evening and welcome to Focus on Liberia. This is a weekly broadcast from Atlanta, Georgia. Everywhere where Liberians live, they always find time to form themselves into an organization, merely to assist with its members and also their kinsmen back in Liberia. Tonight, we're going to talk about Liberian Diaspora organizations, the history of those organizations and their impact right here in the diaspora and also in Liberia. To discuss that, I have with me someone who came to America 50 years ago, who was there when most of the organizations we have today were established. He is an author or journalist and also an historian. He was a former president of the Union of Liberian Associations in the America, former chairman of the Eminent Council, that is a former president of ULAA. He's no other than Siahyonkron Nyanseor. Mr. Nyanseor, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you.
Also, we have representing alumni associations in the America, we have the president of the Cathedral High School Alumni Association. He's going to be joining us via video, Mr. Charles Dennis. Mr. Dennis, welcome to Focus on Liberia. Charles is the president of the Cathedral High School Alumni Association. Cathedral is a Catholic high school in Monrovia. Mr. Nyanseor, welcome to Focus on Liberia, and we're glad to have you.
Thank you. I'm pleased.
All right. Mr. Nyanseor is also an author. His latest book is Tiposa, Message from the Palava Hut. So we are glad to have the one many refers to as the historian of ULAA. So let's get started right away, Mr. Nyanseor. Everywhere Liberians are gathered, they always find themselves forming an association. What is driving that? What is the problem that Liberians are trying to solve, for which they are always organizing themselves into association? It could either be on a county level, on a state level, a district, and even clan level. What's driving that?
Well, the district, clan, county, they came later on. When we came into this country, I came here in 1968. I came here 1968, December. I landed in Brooklyn, New York. And you know, when you are away from home, you always want to fellowship with your countrymen and women. So in 1972, we founded the Liberian Student Association in the Americas and Canada. From there, Liberian Association, it was founded in Brooklyn. It started in Brooklyn, but it was founded in Philadelphia. Philadelphia was the hub of all Liberian Association. And then from the Liberian Association, then we founded a task force.
Right, Mr. Nyanseor, we get to that. I first want to see why are we forming this, why most Liberians find the need to put themselves into these associations.
Because Liberian, we are community people. We believe that when we are in a foreign land, we need to come together to associate, to get to know one another, to help one another, so that when there's trouble, when there's problem, we will go to one another's aid.
Good. And before we continue, I want to see if we have Charles now on the video. All right. So one of those organizations, like you correctly stated, is ULAA, or the Union of Liberian Association in the Americas, and or ULAA, for which you were former president. What is the purpose? Why was that? And I know you started the history already, so if you can go into that and just tell us why was ULAA established?
First, as I said, we started as a student association. The student association later on, because not all of us were students. We have other people who are immigrants that have been there for a long time. We wanted to be inclusive. So then we decided to form a task force. The task force came together to come up with the principles of and objectives of the organization. And in 1974, we met at Drexel University in Philadelphia. The task force then became the Union of Liberian Association in the Americas. And the purpose was to be able to assist our people in this country, as well as to address issues in Liberia that we wanted to be a participant to contribute to the development of the country.
Oh, good. So I know there were Liberians, and so ULAA was established first as a student organization. Was there any other Liberian organization be established at that time?
Yes.
What are those?
During that time, we have the Basel Progressive League. Basel Progressive League that started in 1972 in Brooklyn. It was founded by then Thomas Smith, who later on became Untitled Chapter. Then, when it was founded, then later on in 1983, it became Unibwa. But prior to that, the other organization that we had was ULAA, National Association in the Americas. It was founded in Brooklyn. Then after that, then you have the Grand General Association in the Americas, founded in 1975. Then later on, UNICO, United Citizen Council, founded in 1979.
Oh, wow. So, UNICO, that's the United Nimba Citizen Council, 1979.
Yes.
You have ULAA, I think is that a crew?
ULAA is a crowd. We don't like to use the word crew. We are not crew, we are crowd.
Okay.
The Cloud Association started in 1973. ULAA simply means our voice or our decision.
Okay. And then you have the Basel Association.
It started
1972.
Yeah, then later on it became Unibwa. The child has grown. We started in December 10th, 1983. It became Unibwa.
So we have these, were they forming as part of ULAA, or were they separate?
Separate. ULAA was the umbrella organization.
And what does that mean?
ULAA was the organization that all Liberians and their spouses, be it Americans, when you are married to a Liberian, you automatically becomes a part of the organization. And then we have a lot of African Americans who participated. Some of them became leaders in the organization.
Give us some names of people that were involved in, especially ULAA, for the initial establishment of ULAA. You talk about Thomas Oweyu for Basel. Who were some of the people that were part of this, the establishment of ULAA or Awena, and all these early organizations?
But I will come to, like, for ULAA, the name is long. Some of them are deceased now. One of our brother that just passed was Nyanseor. Then you have Thomas Oweyu, you have Charles Taylor, you have Blamo Nelson, you have myself, and then you have other ladies that were part of the organization at the initial stage of ULAA. Now, I'm 70 years old now. My memory sometimes, that's what I write.
Okay.
To keep the names. But I have the listing of all of those people that were in the formative age of the organization. Even this gentleman in Liberia they call Macintosh.
Okay.
Macintosh was one of those people too. You got Edward Don, then all those people. They were part of the, even Dr. Siahyonkron. He was one of those people.
Great. Now I think we now have Charles Dennis, the president of Cathedral High School Alumni Association. He is joining us from Minnesota and he's on video. Charles, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Charles, please introduce yourself to
Yeah, Charles,
the audience.
Can you hear me? Hello?
All right. We'll go back to Mr. Nyanseor. What was it like, 68 when you came?
We were very, very united. We were far away from home. So one of the things that we did, we started at 140 East 95th Street. It was a Liberian gentleman who was here for a very long time called Joe Orland. Joe Orland was the son of George Jara,
Okay.
George Jara's wife. And he had a place where we used to meet. We used to call it the basement. We used to go there to socialize. As a matter of fact, there were the organization called ULAA and the student organization. We used to meet. From there, we have dances, we have discussion about our country. And one of the things that we used to do, it was not something that we planned, but we used to go to JFK around 3 in the morning. We used to go to see who were coming. So, and when people were stranded, we would go and ask them, did your people come? They said no. We said, okay, we are from the Liberian community. We will take you, and then later on, call your people, then we can take you back. So it was a self-help organization to make sure that when our people come here, they are strangers in this place, and anything that can happen to them. So we were there to do those things.
Great. So let's look at ULAA, for instance. What has ULAA's role been over the years when it comes to living up to its true purpose?
ULAA, although we're far away from Liberia, but we play a key role in the activities or things that were going on in Liberia. For instance, Liberia will have the saying that we are not political. There's not a political organization. We are not a political organization. We're agitating, advocating for the rights of our people in Liberia. When you're born, you have birth certificate. It's political. They will register you. When you die, you got birth certificate. But people do not understand advocacy. Anything you're doing, we don't want any politics here. We don't want any politics here. We don't want any politics here. But it was not a political organization. But we addressed political issues. We work along with the organization on the ground, especially the student organization. Like SOUP, like the LINSU, like the workers' union, we work with them. So when there's a problem in Liberia, because they could not speak for themselves or they put them in jail, ULAA would then take a position to regard the government that they are abusing the people's right, and we will go and demonstrate.
So during that time, it looked like that advocacy, ULAA's purpose was somehow overshadowed by that advocacy role, so to speak. Or was there any other thing that ULAA was involved in besides
the community?
In what respect, if you can share?
The death, graduation. If some of our members were in trouble, we came to their aid. One of the things that people sometimes they don't understand, ULAA was like the federal government. It's a federation. ULAA, when the Georgia chapter does something, it is ULAA that is doing it because it is part of the organization is part of ULAA. So we even bearer when somebody died on the local level, it's just like the state level in the United States, where the United States is formed. So if Georgia does something, it is part of the federal government. ULAA plays that same role.
Right. Thank you. And is Charles ready on the line now? All right. Let's go to Charles. Charles, if you can please introduce yourself briefly. By the way, Charles is the president of the Alumni Association from Cathedral High School. Charles, can you hear me? All right. Let's talk about the impact. Focus on Liberia.
Hello? Hello?
Go back to Charles Dennis in Minnesota as soon as the issue is resolved. Let's also talk about the impact of the various organizations, being it the county organization on the state level. From that time on, what were these organizations involved in? What have been their impact right here in the United States and also in Liberia?
Well, the coming of the county association, actually, I use the word interrupted the programs of ULAA. Everybody at one time belongs to ULAA. And when there was Independence Day and any activities, all of us would go. But when the county association came, at one time they wanted to become part of ULAA. we said that it was quite impossible for you to become part of ULAA for the fact that ULAA is a federal organization where all of us become. Now, when they became independent of their organization, the influence that ULAA had went down because they concentrated on their organization. Even ULAA were having something, you will not find a lot of them there. But when the county association were having something, that's where they would go. So there was a division. One of the things that we did in Awina had the first demonstration against the Liberian government in 1973. And it was very successful. As a result of that, we decided to say that we, the members of the Awina Association, should take part in ULAA. So some of us went into the organization, ULAA, and took leadership position.
Yeah, but some of those organizations were founded, or at the same time ULAA was founded. So how do you say they interrupted, what ULAA was doing?
Because they were not concentrating on their ethnic group or ethnic organization. They were concentrating on ULAA. They placed their priority in ULAA. But later on, it became, the priority was placed on the county association as opposed to
the overall. Even today, we see that same issue. Like, for instance, you have Siahyonkron County Association. Sometimes, and there is always that, I don't want to say rivalry of where does development where does it go? So, right there, people started having, association on the district level so that they would do more for their own district, and even went to the clan level and sometimes to the town level. So that's a trend.
We have no problem with that, provided Liberia first.
Yeah.
Provided you place emphasis on Liberia first. But the problem we encountered was they placed more priority on their county, alumni, and all of those things. As a result of that, we had a serious problem.
Right. And I don't think the aspirations should be clashing.
No.
So why is that problem? Why is ULAA not concentrating on something else as opposed to what the counties are concentrating on?
ULAA did similar stuff.
Okay.
The whole thing started in 1980. Right after the coup in Liberia, people start positioning themselves. They see themselves first where they came from in the county. And then as a result of that, we have, like, for instance, I was president of ULAA. When I was president of ULAA, one of the things is that when we want to have a demonstration, right? We want to have a demonstration against what was going in the country. When you take a position, and let's say it's about do as president,
right?
The Grand General Association that used to agitate for the fundamental rights of our country, then you have a conflict there. Some of them would not want for us to do that. But when we were doing it with the American Liberians, all of them were on board. So we felt that it was wrong. Wrong is wrong.
Okay, hold on. All right. And that's one thing I wanted to even touch on prior, is when ULAA was first established, especially in the 70s, the early 70s. Tell me about any division on the Congo country level. Was there any of that sort that, okay, this person is from this tribe, or this person is of the American Liberian stock, and so you are not part of ULAA? Tell me about any rivalry at the very inception.
Yeah, at the very inception, we have some conflict. The first election we had, that Bacchus Matthew was running to become president of Liberian Student Association. There was a gentleman I think it was a Grable fellow. He came from Germany, and he was running. You could see the division Bacchus had all of the, the Monrovia group. Even this gentleman sitting down here, I am from Monrovia, and I knew Bacchus Matthew. I was on Bacchus Matthew's side during that election.
Okay.
But what happened was, Tom Smith and I were living together. He came late. Nyondo Makomla was also with Bacchus. When a vote was about to be counted, Tom Smith came with his girlfriend. And Bacchus Matthew assumed that because I was supporting him and Tom and I lived together, so he asked the people, he said, the man traveled a long way. Why is it that people deny him? So we put it on the floor, and the floor accepted that Tom and his girlfriend should vote. Those were the two votes that defeated him.
And Tom Smith mean we with you.
We with you. And Bacchus Matthew was defeated. He never had any position in ULAA besides committee. He never had. He was not a president, nor chairman of the board.
Thank you. If you are just joining us, this is Focus on Liberia, and we are discussing Liberian Diaspora organizations, their history and impact on Liberians here in the United States and also back home in Liberia. Tonight we have a former president of ULAA and also former president or chairman of the ULAA Eminent Council, Mr. Siahyonkron Nyanseor. He's representing this diaspora organization to give us the history. We also have on the phone and via video Mr. Charles Dennis. He's the president of the Alumni Association of Cathedral High School. So if you have Charles, if Charles is ready on the line, then Charles can join us.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah, this is Charles Dennis. I'm actually the former president of the Cathedral Alumni Association. We just had elections a month ago, but I was a president for the past 4 years.
And one of those is our alumni associations. Like Cathedral, what's the purpose of Cathedral Alumni Association? What are you trying to accomplish as an association?
I think that the primary purpose for the Cathedral Alumni Association is academics, is to, we who are fortunate to go to a Catholic school and get a Catholic education, we saw the value of that education, especially when we came to America. And so as we reflect on our own lives, we thought it was something moral to do, to help other children who are less fortunate to gain access to the kind of education that we have that made us better people today in the United States. So the primary purpose was to just give back to those kids back home, to make the dreams of children who could not afford to go to a Catholic school, make that dream come true.
What's been the impact of Cathedral High Alumni Association? What have you been up to, Charles?
We've been around for 21 years, and what we do have two arms of the Alumni Association. We do have the Alumni Association itself, and we do have the Educational Foundation. The Alumni Association is the decision-making and the fundraising arm, and the Educational Foundation is the project implementation arm. So what we do, we've got a steady list of about 31 to 35 kids every year that we give free academic scholarship to in Liberia. In addition to that, we've undertaken huge projects such as changing the entire roof of both buildings on the campus, redoing the basketball court, doing the teacher's bathroom and the entire school bathroom, building computer labs, science labs, furnishing libraries, sending water coolers, printers. Currently, we pay for the water to get towed up Snapper Hill for the kids to have, running water into the bathroom and in the cooler. We just send money back home to purchase a generator that could give electricity to the school 24 hours a day. Those are just a few of what we've done.
Impressive. Where you get money from to do all this?
Well, like I said, the association is, we have the fundraising arm. We have a convention each year, which is the first weekend in August. And during that convention, we pay national dues. First of all, it's $35 a person every year. And then once we get to the convention, we buy a packet. A packet could run anywhere from $100 to $125, depending on the activities for the weekend. And once we do that, we also require every chapter to make a donation. And some chapters will give 2,000, some chapters 1,000, some 500. Those chapters make donations, and then also there are individuals that went to the school who will host a scholarship in honor of their loved ones. So someone could say, my mom passed and I want a scholarship in her honor. I'll pay 3 kids' school fees. So it's all self-funded by members of the organizations, and we're very committed to our cause, and we do that diligently every year.
I'm impressed. So what's the level of cooperation are you receiving from Cathedral High School?
We work with them as partners. And so what we do is every year we solicit them to give us the earmarked projects that we can undertake. So this year they said, because I visited a school at one time when I was there, the AC power went off and one of the classrooms was dark. So part of our project is they sent us a list of things that we can accomplish every year, and then we vote upon what we can do. So what we selected from the list of things this year was to get a generator large enough to supply both buildings with electricity for the total duration that the kids will be in class.
Last question to you before I turn to our caller. Charles, I know you're a 501c3 organization registered here in the United States. Are you able to write for funding grants to help fund some of the projects?
Never done that because, again, we've been very, very diligent, very enthusiastic about our mission. And so there's never been a need for that. However, we have partnered with like Microsoft of Africa to gain access to computers and software licenses for the kids in Liberia. And so we self-funded, and we do very well in providing financial needs for to accomplish our goals in Liberia.
So much. We will go to our callers. We have callers on the line. We have some organizations who we have invited to call in and just give us a brief overview of their organization and the impact they're making.
Okay, caller, go ahead. Caller, are you there?
All right.
Okay, hold on. TV don't actually understand it. Caller, go ahead. Hello?
All right, we have callers calling in. Do we have anyone?
Hello? Yeah, can you introduce yourself and call?
Yeah, this is Nyanseor.
All right. Okay. Hello, Tommy. Tommy is the president of a Nyanseor association that's on the clan level. So, Tommy, welcome to Focus on Liberia. Please share your experience and the impact you're making.
Thank you very much, Brother. I'm supposed to be here with my colleagues, but we've been trying the number to get through, so I don't know if what is on the line now by the name of Erica.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Hold on.
Go ahead, Tommy. Tell me about your organization and the impact you are making right here in the United States and back home in your county.
Yeah. Okay. I think you can get on the line now. Just be there. I connected you now. Yeah. Hello, Mr. John.
Yes, go ahead. Tell me about your organization and your impact.
Okay. I'm on the line with my colleagues on the line. Anyway, thank you very much to invite us here tonight. This organization is funded here in the United States by the name of Nyanseor Association in America. If I'm not mistaken, Brother Guy himself, the starting of the organization, he was informed.
Okay, there's a background noise, Mr. So, but just briefly tell us. Tell us.
Hearing me?
Yeah, go ahead and be very brief. Hey, Tommy.
Hello?
Yes, tell us the history of your organization and the impact you are making here and back in Liberia.
Okay, I will not hear you. Okay, the Nyanseor Association was for a year, 2004, and came to in 2009. So far, we are in connection with like 3 churches in the United States. And by 2014, we were able to carry the first relief in Grand Jida to be specific by some Nyanseor, where we were able to give some students about 2,000 pen, pencils, and copy books. We also have a videotape to that. And then we are not limited to Grand Jida alone. We also send some toys and used clothes to bomb country in Fela. Safe children village. Yes, safe children village in Fela. We send some toys, pen, pencils with some shoes and money during the time of Ebola crisis. And now we also build the birth and waiting room in our city, the clans in the district city, which is in Javli. And we also have an office in Monrovia, Red to Lane Street. And we have about 12 guys working without voluntarily, without getting paid. We also, right now, we have some barrels that we need to carry, and we are lobbing around for the transport for the shipment fees. But we are sure we ship them by December, then by February, we'll be able to do the distribution in Liberia. And we also have some land, swamp land farm, which is about 100 acres, which my colleague will be able to come in and go in detail, because at the time he was in Liberia. And that time he was in Liberia, and he was the coordinator between the people in Liberia and here in the United States. But he was serving there as a director when he was in Liberia. So I will give you a little bit chance to come in and give you some information. Mr. Carr.
Okay, good evening, everyone. This is Alex Carr, the then director of the Nyanseor Association in the America in Liberia. My president has already said, I need not to repeat,
right?
Because he has much. He has said it. We need to buttress him. Then he did talk about the swamp, because what we do know, this organization is not for profit, and it is working into perspective. I mean, 3 perspectives. Like we do education, health, and agriculture. In our agriculture setting, we were able to obtain a swamp land in Javli City. That which, of course, our worker there, by next year, January, will be able, as we try to negotiate some fundings, try to arrange for conventions and other things, funding to come in so that our workers should start there. And then in as much the produce that will come from there will be able to help the people. It is not for us, it is for them.
Thank you.
But then we will be there to manage it in how well it will be used, and next they can be able to obtain it again, be able to work on the swamp.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
So good.
Thank you, Alex, and thank you, Tommy, for your contribution. We just appreciate what you're doing, and please continue your good work. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Nyanseor, we turn to you. You heard about what the folks are doing at Cathedral High School and also what our other colleagues are doing in Nizoni Clan in Grand Jita County. This is impact.
It is a good opportunity. It is a good thing that it's doing. But one of the things is that once you are doing those kind of stuff, when you have a national organization, you also try to participate in a national organization. This is what is lacking. It places more priority on the local organization as opposed to the national organization. And they, to some extent, they are not to be blamed too. Because in ULAA, we have had some problems. The issue of money, when you mess with people's money, you also have some problem in those areas. So there's some administration in ULAA that could not account for the money that the chapter pay, and there was a lot of problem on the chapter level.
All right. Let me bring in Charles in the conversation. If Charles, if you're still available. Because one thing we know is Cathedral High School is doing very well. My question is on collaboration, and to what extent is Cathedral High School collaborating with, say, Monrovia College or CWA or whatever way possible? Because someone said the only ship that has not gone to Liberia is partnership. Charles, do you have any comments on collaborating with other high schools to be more impactful?
You still hear me? Hello? Can you hear me?
Go ahead, Charles.
Can you hear me?
All right. So Mr. Nyanseor, let's talk about what can we do to make this in Liberia.
We talk about also collaboration. Some of those people, individuals that are in Cathedral High School too, they are from a county, certain areas, and they would like for the organization to also liaise with the other county associations to see how they can work along with them. Like for instance, raising funds. If you are raising funds, you're not only calling Cathedral High School alumni, you also can call the larger Liberian community and say, well, this is the project that we have.
Okay.
And one of the things we do too, they can also come to ULAA to say, well, this is what we have. We need your assistance, and see how they can best help them.
Okay. Charles, if you are there, how can we make what can Cathedral and others do to be more impactful?
You hear me now?
Go ahead, Charles.
Me.
Go ahead, Charles.
Yeah, I just want to make sure can you hear me first? Are we connecting?
We're hearing you. Go ahead, Charles.
Oh, okay. So in terms of your question about creating impact, and I think your guess is right that when we come to a particular state, we are not just looking to invite Cathedral students, but we try to reach out to the larger Liberian population. In terms of collaborating with other organizations, it's something that we don't shy away from. We have established multiple partnerships across the board with not only Catholic institutions, but even government institutions that from Liberia, because we do realize that the goal of our organization is to give access to education to those less fortunate kids in Liberia, cuts across tribal lines, cuts across regional, cuts across what school you went to. So based upon that, as far as collaboration, we are always very open to that, and we have done a few collaborations.
In the minds of people in Liberia, some people in Liberia questioning, people in the United States, what they've been up to, what they are doing in Liberia. like some even put it more bluntly and say, you sit down in America doing nothing. What do you say to people that these organizations or people here are just contributing nothing to the Liberian economy, looking at your cathedral example?
Just someone to go to the school. Go to the school campus and take a look around. We have a plaque out there that, matter of fact, we encourage members to go above and beyond the minimum donation to have their names on those flags and list of projects we've undertaken. Talk to the Catholic Archdiocese, they will tell you. Look at other Catholic schools compared to cathedral. I tell you, give you an example. When Ebola hit Liberia and schools were closed, what we did was just to encourage teachers. We gave each teacher of cathedral school $125 for Christmas. Because again, we're not looking at that particular teacher, but we're looking at his income supports an entire family. So we went into our pockets and said, hey, we will give you a purse because we want you to stay committed to the school, even though you're not teaching right now, you're not getting paid, but because we care about you and what you do for the kids in Liberia, we will get each and every teacher $125. And we did that. So again, if you want to question what we are doing in the States, just stop by Cathedral School and ask some questions.
Yeah, Mr. Nyanseor, if you want to come in.
This is the problem we have with the Liberians on the ground. They see us as enemy. As a matter of fact, during the Civil War, we were the one that sustained the economy. It was the money that we sent through Western Union. That's the money that sustained the economy. And we have relatives there. So when anything is happening, they come to us and we will send money for them. Even burial, graduation, and all of those things that we have done.
All right. At this time, we're going to take a short break. And if you are watching, this is Focus on Liberia. We are broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia. At this time, we are discussing Liberian diaspora organizations and their impact here in the diaspora and back home in Liberia. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back to Focus on Liberia. This is a weekly broadcast. We're broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia. Tonight we're discussing Liberian Diaspora organization and their impact right here in the diaspora and back home in Liberia. So at this time I'm going to bring online Mr. Daniel Mensah, the current president of the Monrovia College Alumni Association. He's called the Nyanseor of Monrovia College. Mr. Daniel Mensah, welcome to Focus on Liberia. Daniel, briefly discuss the history of Monrovia College Alumni Association and the impact you're making right here in the diaspora and back home in Liberia.
The Monrovia College Alumni Association started sometime in 1996, and to date we've had 21 successful reunions. And
Speak up.
We try to be practical, try to meet the basic needs of our school, Monrovia College, back in Liberia.
Louder, please.
We concentrate on efforts that are best needed for the school. Right now, we have up to 70% of the principal salaries paid by us. We have close to 40 students on scholarships. We have training programs in place to help the students and the teachers teach better, learn better, implement to the students and impart with them better. We have a science laboratory that was renovated back to the school. And we try to assist the school in many other ways. That's our little 2 cents that we try to do. And we've seen some results. Monrovia College was the highest in the national exam last year, and the school is gradually coming back to its pre-war situation.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you, and thank you for the great work you are doing. And truth and honor always foremost. Lawyer we shall ever be.
Thank you. And our website is up, www.moroviacollegealumniusa.com. We have a donor page there. Anybody who is interested, if you touch your heart, you can go there and donate to us, to our cause. Anything will be accepted. And we are a 501c3 recognized organization.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dan. Now we go to our next caller. All right. Now, Daniel, if you are still there, thank you so much. All right. God bless you. So these are the things that we have people doing. Mr. Nyanseor, let me come to you about the structure of these organizations. Most of the organizations we have here, the diaspora organization, are non-profit. But we found out some political structure. How does that affect or help these organizations?
Liberian Organization of the Piedmont, Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Go ahead, sir. Tell us a brief history, the impact you're making. Sir, tell us your name, your organization, your brief history, and the impact you are making. You are on the air.
Good evening. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is James Honda, and I'm president of the Liberian Organization of the Piedmont in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. We are a 501c3 organization established in 1988. I want to first seize the opportunity to say to my friend and brother, our former president of ULAA. Yeah.
Basically, LOP has been in existence since '88, and since our existence, we have our main purpose, of course, is promoting education, culture, and international relations. So through those efforts, we have been able to support a lot of levels, beginning with during the Civil War. Of course, we were elected as chairman of the Liberian Practice Committee in North Carolina. Through that effort, we were able to shape medicine and non-perishable foods to refugee camps in Benin, the Ivory Coast. Our former president, Matthew Gibson, through him was able to deliver this stuff, of course, with the help of the Catholic Relief Services. So we have also done some other efforts with regard to students. We have been able to bring about 3 students initially attending different institutions of higher learning in Winston-Salem, Wake Forest, Penn State University, and other institutions such as college. All the institutions have been very helpful to us. We got 3 students, like I said initially, we got 3 students, and but those who are on short program. Like recently, we've been very fortunate to have the Livingstone College based in Salisbury, North Carolina, that offer us 2 undergraduate scholarships that we have. Currently, we have 2 students, and those scholarships they are good for 4 years, of course, as undergraduate scholarship, and at the value of $200,000. So we have 2 students currently at that institution. Our organization has also established a relationship, MOU, between the Grand Bassa Community College and that of Forsyth Technical Community College and the Winston State University School of Health Sciences. So our we hope through those MOU programs that is ongoing will be to continue to help our people, student exchange, and faculty exchange program as well.
Thank you.
Also, we have been able to establish a sister city relationship between the city of Winston-Salem and that of Grand Bassa, the first city of Grand Bassa of China. As you know,
that is very impressive. Really, that's very impressive. And thank you so much for what you are doing. We really appreciate it, and I believe people in Liberia really appreciate what you're doing. We are kind of a little out of time, so but thank you so much for what you're doing, and we'll be coming back to you anytime. Please feel free to call us. At this time, we have a statement from the president of the River G County Association, the national president, who could not be here but sent out the statement of what River G County Association is all about and what they are doing. It reads, the River G County Association in the Americas, RIGA, was founded to make contribution to the socio-economic development of the county. In other words, RIGA was founded in 2001 to basically give back to the community that has helped to nurture us and our parents. Over the years, the association has identified with both members and other citizens of the county in the form of offering scholarships, providing material and financial assistance, and so forth. RIGA has embarked on building a library in Fishtown, River G County. The library is near roof level. When completed, the library will be a resource center for the county. Moreover, the leadership has connected River G citizens across the globe through the River G meeting place on Facebook. These are just some of the impacts that River G County Association has been making. Thank you so much, Mrs. Alice Wilson Momba. Thank you for what, and thanks also to River G County. Mr. Nyanseor, these are the things Liberian organizations throughout the diaspora are doing. You or hear from Liberia every day, is the impact really felt there as they are talking about it?
Yes, let me add to what James Honda. James Honda is an old friend of ours.
Go ahead.
Oh, like what James Honda from the Piedmont was talking about. And what he was talking about is what I told you about the federal approach that we have in ULAA. I'm a witness to what he said. That's one of the strongest organizations in ULAA. When Piedmont does anything, they are doing it in the name of ULAA because it's part of the ULAA organization, and he's been around for a very long time too. So I can attest to what he just said.
Good. So basically, you're saying, what people should prepare their food and give it to ULAA, or give the credit to ULAA. Is that what you're saying?
Don't the state pay taxes to the federal government?
Sure do.
So when they're doing that, isn't that the federal government is also doing the same thing?
I got you.
ULAA is a federal. Our organization is based on the federal system.
Good.
When there's no community association and no Georgia, there's no ULAA.
Good. Thank you so much. We'll go back to the line for one more caller. Caller, your name?
Go ahead, caller. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
My name is Arthur Uyado.
Comrade Joe, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you. My name is Arthur Uyado, and I'm the current National General Secretary of ULAA. The organization from... Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Dennis.
Go ahead, Arthur.
Oh, thank you so much. Ms. John, first and foremost, I want to say thanks to you for your show and to have one of Liberia's prominent sons on the line. I'm speaking. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'm happy that you have one of Liberia's prominent sons on your show. The elder Nyanseor, he is a great guy, and when he speaks to ULAA. And I am here to tell you about what ULAA currently is doing, and also to praise the past leaders of ULAA for instituting measures to bring Liberians here in the diaspora together, and for many of us to see this organization to call is the Union of Liberian Associations in America today. I don't want to repeat what the elder has said, the eminent has said, but to just go further. Currently, we just concluded our 43rd General Assembly, and we elected a new corps of officers headed by the Bamba Fofana from the chapter in New York, the Staten Island, and corps of other officers. What ULAA is currently doing is stay engaged. We want to note that ULAA is an advocacy group. ULAA has been in the advocacy business for the 3 years, and there are different state chapters and conditions for which some of those advocacy gain momentum. For instance, during the then regime of the Tallbox going into Siahyonkron, you saw the advocacy of ULAA was very, very strong and high in Liberia, here in the diaspora as well. And ULAA managed to institute some measures to bring about multi-party democracy in Liberia. But now we are now looking at ULAA from a different perspective, not altogether to sway away from the main goals of ULAA, which is the advocacy. When the question is asked what ULAA have done, a typical Liberian man will want to find out whether ULAA have put food on the table for his friends or any relative or Liberian in Liberia. They want to know as whether ULAA is engaged in educational programs, like the social service programs in Liberia.
Summarize, come here.
So we tend to look at the current conditions in the Republic of Liberia, not forgetting about the main goal of ULAA. And we have engaged into adapting a school in Liberia. But I want for your listening audience to know that ULAA is an advocacy group, and advocacy group in terms of pressurizing and encouraging Liberians here in the diaspora and in Liberia at home, so looking at the power that in their hand and making sure that they use that power, that constitutional right, that they have to use it to the best of their ability. That's not the fact that you are going to be engaging in school construction and helping schools in Liberia.
Right.
But yet still, we are not forgetting to hold our leaders to their feet for corrupt practices, for malpractices, for investment, for all of the illness, the ill will of
the government.
The Republic of Liberia.
Thank you.
So, finally, we are part, and we're continuing the advocacy of our dear brethren who have organized ULAA, and we stay true to their vision.
To those thank you, Mr. Doe. Thank you so much, and continue the great work for our people. Okay, now we are back, and at this time we're going to go back to Mr. Charles on the line for his final words, and also our studio guest, Mr. Nyanseor. Mr. Nyanseor, let's start with you. We are about to bring down the curtains. If you have just final words for our audience.
Well, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me for us to discuss things that are very crucial to our own existence as Liberians. This was the purpose for which we organized ULAA, so that we want to know what is on our people's mind, how we can assist those that are needed in Liberia. And then those are things that we have done, and you heard some of the guys were talking about it. We have an impact. We just didn't come to the United States just to gain education and forget about our people. So when there is problem in the country, we get concerned. The only thing I would advise people is that in a democracy, there can be disagreement. Be very respectful to one another. I'm advocating not for myself, but I'm advocating for all of us. So it will benefit all of us. So don't be abusive to one another, like going to Facebook, calling people they are old and they are senile and all of those things. So, but I thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much. By the way, this is part one of a series of the Liberian Diaspora organizations. Tonight we have covered the county organizations. We have covered, of course, ULAA, which is the umbrella organization. We have covered the Alumni Association, and then we have one organization on even the clan level. Coming next week, we're going to continue this series, and we're going to involve other associations. But before we go, we want to go back to our guest, Mr. Charles Dennis from Cathedral High School, for his final thoughts.
Yeah, if he can say, yeah, man. I think everyone should be encouraged to do what you can do, no matter how little, to keep doing it. And I think we are part of ULAA based upon our birth, and that we can't deny. So we will continue to support at the very highest level, which is at that particular level. But also where we are standing right now, we need to do what we can do to make impact here and at home.
If you have anything that you are doing that is working for Cathedral, please feel free to share with other schools to follow your examples. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Focus on Liberia. My name is Dennis Jar. We've been discussing Liberian diaspora organizations and their impact. Next week, we're going to continue with the series and invite more organizations different from what we have today. On behalf of all of us here at Focus on Liberia, we want to say thank you so much for watching. We want to say thank you to our producer, Mrs. Yasendi Martin-Kwe, our product engineer and guest relations manager, Stephanie Setro. We say thank you. Our studio manager, Patrick Ansel, we also say thank you so much. And for all of you watching us via Facebook or TV International, we say thank you for tuning in. We will be here again on Sunday, and please be sure to tune in. Thank you so much. God bless you, and good night.
All right. Thank you very much.